What's going on, you guys? Welcome back. It's Ars. Let's get productive. Today I'm going to be diving into my top 10 favorite VSTs of 2020. Now, really quick disclaimer, there's two things happening. So the first thing is these VSTs that we're going to discuss are only instrument VSTs. They're not effects plugins. I'll be doing another top 10 for that. The second thing is, just because these VSTs are on my top 10 list and it's a 2020 list, it doesn't mean these VSTs were created in 2020. Some of these VSTs are a lot older than other VSTs. The point of this thing is these are the VSTs that I've been using heavily in 2020. They're my favorite VSTs at the moment, and they're something that I think all of you guys should check out. So here it is, my top 10 favorite VSTs of 2020. So number 10 on my list is going to be the X8 by VMatin. It is an amazing VST that focuses solely on 808s. So if you're looking to get your bass right, your drums right, you're looking to get that punchy sound, this VST is for you. So the X8 by VMatin is a VST focused solely on 808s. The pros of this thing: simple, nice looking GUI, useful control, loads of useful presets, affordable. It's only $18. The cons? There are none. This VST is really cool and it comes with loads of presets. A lot of the 808s are already distorted for you, and some of them are really clean. Some of them are really sub heavy. Some of them are really mid heavy. And they're broken down into a lot of different categories in the preset section that let you kind of gauge what kind of bass and what kind of 808 you're going to be getting in that category, and you can really apply it to your workload quite easily. There's 808s for everything that you could possibly be working on. The GUI is amazing. It's really cool looking, and you can really dial in on the 808s and kind of amp them up even more with the knobs and the different settings that they have going on in there. But this is the main thing that I use for my 808s on my tracks and for the bass on my tracks, and it's something that I think you guys should definitely check out. So that's number 10, X8 by VMatin. Number 9. This is a VST that I've spoken about on my channel already. I have a review for it on my channel. It's Euphoria VST by Angelic Vibes. This VST is really cool, really awesome GUI. It comes with a lot of presets, but the thing I think that really shines about this VST are the pads. Euphoria by Angelic Vibes. The pros: simple, nice looking GUI, useful controls, great sound and presets, and it's affordable at only $29. The cons: it needs expansions. This VST is really cool, really awesome GUI. It comes with a lot of presets, but the thing I think that really shines about this VST are the pads. It's affordable. It has a lot of different settings in the GUI, so you have a lot of different knobs and different things you can tweak and change here and there and add to the sound to really brighten it or give it more texture. You have you have record hissing distortion sounds in there. You have a knob you can push up to get some outside atmospherics. So they're like birds chirping in the background. All of the different settings really help to take a sound that already sounds euphoric and open it up even more and just really give it a lot of atmosphere. So Euphoria by Angelic Vibes, number 9, it's really cool. Check it out. And now we're up to number 8 on my list, and this is one that I don't hear a lot of people talking about. It's the Criteria VST by Trell Got Wings. This thing is awesome. Criteria by Trell Got Wings. Simple, nice looking GUI, useful controls, great unique sounding presets, and super affordable. This thing is only $5. The cons? There are none. Loads of presets, awesome GUI. It's something that's really cool to look at while you're doing your stuff, while you're making your beats. The GUI is really dope, really cool to look at. But the thing that really makes this thing stand out are the presets, are the sounds. They are so different. Like, you get a lot of these different VSTs out there and they're made primarily for trap, and I would say that this VST is made primarily for trap producers. You could definitely use it in a lot of different other genres. You can use it in R&B. You can also use it in EDM and other genres because the sounds are so different and so interesting, and there's so many different layers of textures to those sounds. But it's made primarily for trap, And the thing that makes it shine is it has sounds that work in trap beats, but these sounds don't sound like any sounds you're gonna hear in another VST. There's a lot of different trap VST romplers out there right now. It's the market is kind of getting flooded with these VSTs. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. This one is awesome. The sounds are cool, they're interesting, they're different, and it's something you're definitely going to want to check out. So check out Criteria by Trail.Wings. It's really good. So this brings us to number 7 on the list. This is actually a VST that's been out for a while now. I was using this VST back in 2011 when I was using Pro Tools to make beats. I don't remember, I think it was a VST that came with Pro Tools at the time, but it's called Expand 2, and it's awesome. I mean, you could buy this VST and use this VST by itself and make entire songs without using any other VST. There's so many different categories of sounds in this VST. Expand 2 by Air Music Technology. Simple, nice looking GUI, lots of hidden useful controls, an insane amount of presets. It's insane how many presets are in this thing. It has 4 active sound slots, which allows you to layer sounds and create something new. And the trial version is available, and it's affordable. All of this stuff is only $19.99. The cons? There are none. I am shocked at how affordable it is and how much you get when you buy this thing. It allows you to layer your synths up, so you can layer up a lot of different sounds and make new sounds just by layering them up. The GUI is really cool, but the GUI is really functional. At first glance, it's a very simple GUI, but you can dive into that and actually open up more categories. You can turn on your arpeggiator for individual tracks. So like I said before, you can layer up your sounds with this thing, and for each layer of sounds, you can arpeggiate it differently. You can add the effects to each track differently. It's just really cool. There's so much you can do with this thing, so many sounds. If you only was able to buy one VST on this list, this one and number 1, when we get to number 1, I'll tell you what number 1 is when we get there, and I think you'll be really happy with that VST too. But this is another one that you could just buy this one VST by itself and not need anything else. It comes with drums, it comes with loads of sounds, world sounds, bell sounds, string sounds, synth sounds, pad sounds. It's just so many different kinds of sounds, and it works across so many different kind of genres. So it's definitely something to check out. Expand 2, a really good VST. Number 6 on my list, Tape Piano, another one by VMatin. VMatin makes some really good plugins, I gotta say, and not only are the plugins good, but they're affordable. Tape Piano by VMatin. Simple, nice looking GUI, useful controls, comes with built-in tape effects, expansions are available, great unique sounding presets, and it's super affordable. It's only $15. The cons, there's no favorites menu. Tape Piano is another one of those affordable VSTs that you're gonna get, you're gonna use it, and you're not gonna be able to believe that you only spent $15 on this VST. So Tape Piano is a mix between a VST dedicated primarily to pianos, synth pianos, and lo-fi sounding pianos, but it comes inside this GUI that's based inside the structure of an old tape player, an old reel-to-reel, and it has all of these different knobs that can add tape sounds to the background, static sounds to the background, hissing sounds. It can add a rewind and fast forward sound to the background of your melody. It adds all these different distortion and background atmospherics to your piano melody. And if you're making a lo-fi beat, this is definitely something you're going to want to check out. Now, staying on the topic of lo-fi beats, I have number 5. It's another VST that works amazing with lo-fi beats. It's a VST that's dedicated primarily to hip hop, but again, you can use any of these VSTs on any genre. The name of this VST is called LoFi Glow, and it's by Contact. This thing takes everything Tape Piano is and expands it. LoFi Glow by Contact. Pros, nice looking GUI, useful in-depth controls, sound editor page for customization, 2 active sound slots for sound layering, great unique sounding presets, and affordable at only $49.99. The cons, there are none. This thing has piano sounds, synth sounds, it has bass sounds, and it has 2 different layers, so you can have 2 different sounds operating at the same time. It has a lot of presets, a lot of different effects you can add. This one has effects like hissing sounds and all of that different kind of stuff. But it's another plugin that is really great for lo-fi producers. Number 4 on our list, we're getting down to that bottom. This is a really dope bass VST. It's called Subdivine by DigiNoise. This is another VST that's totally dedicated to bass. Subdivine by DigiNoise. Pros, simple, nice looking GUI, useful controls, great sounding presets, and the trial version is available. Affordable, it's only $55. Cons, there are none. It works really great with trap beats, but it can be used for all kinds of different genres. Like there's a lot of different kinds of basses that could be used for dance music, EDM, all these different kinds of things. The thing that makes this really special is at a certain frequency range, when you use a bass, once you start going lower and lower and lower and you get past a certain frequency range, you can start to lose the harmonics in the bass. You can start to lose the tone in the bass, and it can just sound really muddy and muffled. The thing that works really good about this bass is it allows you to go really low into those really dark low sub frequencies and still maintain a tone. So it seems like they put all of their focus into going into the lowest frequencies of a sub that you can go, and then they focused on brightening it up and allowing the tone of that bass to come through. So you can add really heavy bass to your song but still hear the actual tone in the bass, and this is great. Like I've actually used this as another layer to other basses. Like I've used the X8 808 VST for the bounce of my beat, and then I've layered the DigiNoise, I've layered a sub bass from the DigiNoise underneath the 808 just to give it extra warmth, and they both work really well together, and the tone is just bright, and it's a really great bass VST. It's something that I feel like you are going to need for everything. There is going to come a time where you want to go really low, really dark, into that really dark, deep sub frequencies of a bass, but you also still want to be able to hear a tone. And this VST is really good for that. Number 3 on our list is kind of cheating. The name of this VST is called Arcade. It's by Output. Now the reason I said this VST is cheating a little bit is because it's a subscription-based VST. So you have to subscribe to the Arcade subscription service, and you have to you can do that on Output, but it's worth the subscription. Arcade by Output. Cool, useful GUI, unique customizable controls, unique great sounds across many genres, affordable, only $10 a month. And the trial version is available, so you get to try this thing out for 30 days before you even subscribe. Cons, it's only subscription based. So if I had to explain what Arcade is, it basically is what it sounds like. It's a hub for a bunch of samplers that are dedicated to a lot of different sounds and different effects, and just different sample choices for different genres of music, but it's constantly being updated. Like I said before, it's a subscription-based service that is constantly being updated with new sounds and new samplers within the GUI. And like an arcade, you walk into the arcade and you play video games. With this VST, you open up the VST and you play. Like there's loads of categories of different samplers that you can just pick and just go through all of the different samples within that sampler. Then you can go to another sampler that's dedicated to this genre or dedicated to these sounds. It's not all about the genres of music. There's samplers on there that's just dedicated to weird, odd sounds, like from movies and stuff like that. But it's just, I can't explain how much fun this thing is. It's literally like an arcade. If you can picture yourself walking into an arcade and playing video games, you're going to walk into this VST and just go play with all of these different sounds and all of these different samplers And it just gives you so many different options of things you can do even within the sampler. You can really tweak it and do different things with it to kind of make it your own. It's definitely something you guys should check out. Arcade by Output, that is an awesome one. So we're almost down to number 1. We're almost at my favorite VST of 2020. But before we get there, we gotta make a quick stop at number 2. And number 2 is equally one of my favorite VST. It's Chords by Loopmasters. Chords by Loopmasters, a very cool, useful GUI, unique controls for customization, loads of unique sound and presets across many genres, 2 active sound slots for sound layering, multiple expansions available, and the trial version is available. Cons, there are none. Now, I did a whole review of Chords. It's on my channel. You can go check it out if you don't know anything about Chords. It's definitely a video worth watching, and this is definitely a VST worth checking out. Chords is what it sounds like. It's a VST that's dedicated to chords, but I've never seen a VST dedicated to chords that works quite like this one. It's a synthesizer and a chord generator in one. It has loads of presets for you guys to check out. It's amazing. There's a ton of expansions for this thing already, so the VST itself comes with amazing presets, but once you go through those, if you want to expand, you can. There's a bunch of expansions for it. It really has incredible sounding chords that don't sound like anything that I've heard in any VST before. And instead of just generating different chord progressions for you, and then you have to go to another VST and plug the sounds from that VST into this one to make it work, everything is done for you in the GUI already. There's a ton of different presets and there's a ton of different settings within the GUI to really take the chords that are already generated for you and tweak them and really make them your own. And this is a powerhouse. This is like a rompler for chords. And we finally made it to number 1, my top favorite VST of 2020. I was really shocked by how much I was gonna like this thing, because at first glance it seems like it's just another trap VST, but it's so much more. The name of this VST is Heat Up 3 by Initial Audio. Heat Up 3 by Initial Audio. Cool, useful GUI, unique controls for customization, loads of unique sound and presets, multiple expansions available, and the trial version is available. Cons, a little expensive. Expansions are a bit pricey. You can't operate the DAW functions from your keyboard while the GUI is still open. This thing replaces so many things in my DAW. It's a sample-based rompler with a ton of expansions and a ton of sounds. When you get it, a lot of the sounds in there are made primarily for trap beats. So right off the back, there's a lot of bells and pads and you know, 808s and stuff like that are built into the GUI, and those things sound great. But what really makes this thing shine, it has a ton of expansions. So many expansions. Like, there's expansions for EDM, there's expansions for trap beats, there's expansions for that Toronto OVO kind of sound. The possibilities are endless with how many different kinds of beats you can make with this thing. There's a ton of different effects and different tweaking you can do to the sound. It comes with its own built-in sequencer, it comes with its own built-in equalizer, it comes with its own built-in, with a bunch of different built-in effects. All of this stuff is built into this one really dope VST. You can change the GUI, the colors of the GUI, and kind of personalize it to make it your own. The only cons I would say about this thing is that, one, it's very expensive. Again, it's a really incredible, powerful VST. So you get a lot for the price. It's definitely worth the price. I forgot exactly how much it is. I think it was $130 something or whatever. But you get a lot for the price. Not even include, you get a lot off the back for the price, not even including the expansions that you can get after the fact. And there's a lot of them. Like, there's so many expansions for this thing. The other con I have is that I don't know if it's just in Logic, or this happens in FL Studio too, but if you have the GUI open in your DAW and you're going through sounds, you can't operate the DAW from your keyboard anymore while you're operating the Heat Up 3 VST. Like, you have to pick your sound and turn off the VST, like click it off and go back to the DAW screen so that you can hit record and do all of the things that you want to do in your DAW. So you can't kind of multitask. You can't like find the sound and then keep the GUI open and just hit spacebar and it'll start playing the beat that you were working on in the background. You have to close the GUI so you can get back to your workflow in the DAW, and that's a little time consuming. It's a little bit annoying that you have to kind of X that box out before you can go back into your DAW. But I mean, the VST is so dope, it doesn't even matter. Like, I got past that like the same day that I bought this thing. So it's a really, really dope VST. It's really worth checking out. I'd have to say personally, my favorite VST that I'm using right now, even though this Heat Up 3 is #1 on my list, my favorite that I'm using right now is Chords by Loopmasters, which was #2 on the list. But because of all of the functionality in this VST Heat Up 3, because of all of the functionality and because of all of the expansions that it comes with, it kind of pushes itself forward a little bit further than Chords. But you could use Chords by VST, which was #2, and the Heat Up 3 VST, which was #1, and you can make incredible music just with those two VSTs alone. So I hope that this was informative. I hope that there's something on this list that can add a little bit of extra seasoning to your beats. And yeah, let me know what you think. If you've used any of these VSTs and you feel the same way, leave your comments down at the bottom. Also, if there's something that wasn't mentioned on this list that you think I should check out and other producers should check out, please leave a comment down below of the VSTs that you think should have been in my top 10 2020. And I'll check you guys later. Peace.